Hey y'all, welcome to Sandy Toe Tarot. It is a pleasure to be with you guys today to do this reading for you. This is going to be a pick a card reading. Again, I didn't do one last week. I did a regular reading, no pick a card because I didn't have time, but this time I do have time for a pick a card, but it'll be kind of a weekly. That doesn't mean that this is going to be a reading for this coming week. It's actually more of what I was feeling is kind of, it's Easter today. So, you know, Easter is about new beginnings. So I feel like I want to do just kind of a spring 2023 reading for you guys, just the energies of the spring. And I've realized that I'm late on that because spring actually begins in March and this is April, but I'm still going to do it. So this is kind of a spring reading for the next 2 months and very loosely what is beginning for you guys this season, because I'm keeping it kind of open to whatever messages come through. So I will not go into too much of a introduction this time because you guys know how to do the pick a cards. Let me just tell you about the stones. On pile 1 is a citrine. On pile 2 is an amethyst. And on pile 3 is a amazonite. And I tried to just choose based on Eastery colors. So there's no special meanings to these stones. I just thought they looked pretty and wanted to use them. So again, make your choice, pile 1, 2, and 3. Click on that timestamp in the description box below and that will take you directly to that point in the video. And I will see you at your reading. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 1 with the citrine on it, this is going to be your reading for spring 2023. That's loosely just the next couple months because this is April already. And, oh, I guess June 21st is when summer starts officially. So it will be for the next few months. Anyway, very loosely, just what's happening for you guys. It is Easter, so I am kind of feeling the new beginnings energy. That does not mean necessarily that's what's going to come through. We'll see what happens. I will start with the tarot as always. So you got the Star, the World, and the Ten of Cups. That's beautiful. I pulled some Light Seers Tarot. You got the Two of Swords, the Devil card, the Knight of Wands, and the Four of Swords. I'm going to show you this Knight of Wands again because this is absolutely my favorite Knight of Wands that I have ever seen in any deck. I love the wildness of it. The energy of it is so beautiful with the wild horse in the background and the woman just very tribally making music, just beating the drum of her own, the music within her. I love that Knight of Wands. It's beautiful. So what do we see here? So look at this cocoon here in this Four of Swords. This Four of Swords is always about, it's really time to take care of yourself. Even in an emotional place, you got the heart down here. It's like it's time to feed your soul, to take care of yourself, to make sure that you're getting enough rest, eat right, and to take care of your health and exercise. But it's also about being nurtured and being supported. Can come after a period of illness even, actually. It's really just a time where you need to take care of yourself. But I'm also feeling like that cocooning thing that has been happening has been definitely for your highest good, but now you are coming out of that. You've healed from whatever it is that you need to heal from. The world is the cycle's turning. That cycle has completed. Now you're moving on to a brand new cycle that has some excitement in it and some emotional fulfillment in it. Definitely wish fulfillment. Whatever it is that you have been wishing for strongly, it is certainly a time where that is happening for you. Because those are the major arcana you got here, the Star of the World and the Devil. I'm going to put this Devil down here by these other major arcana. Because you know, the Devil does have that reputation. It is a card of kind of stuck energy. Things not really moving forward. Being attached. It talks about attachments that are unhealthy, for sure. They're keeping you tied to something that is not good for you. So I do feel like that's where you're coming from here. You're moving past that. There was something that was going on in your life that you kind of really, it was keeping you stuck in a cycle that was not good, but you kind of didn't really want to look at it either. But your new beginning for the spring is busting loose on that thing. After taking some time out, maybe to heal a heart or to heal your situation or to get some clarity about the things that were holding you back, the things that you didn't want to look at. After taking a break from it, now the wheel turns forward. That cycle is ending and you move forward and unleashing the wild within. That's absolutely, there's such a feeling here of emotional fulfillment. I'm not even picking up on relationship in this emotional fulfillment card. I'm feeling more of the you. Healing yourself emotionally, getting back in touch with that beautiful soul that you are and being ready to express who you are with the world again. Actually, that might be connected to this unleashing the wild within, this unleashing your talents and your skills to the world might actually be connected to getting some acclaim for doing that, for figuring out what your soul song is. And I say that loosely because we create art in our lives with the skills and the desires that we have. So whatever it is that is your art that you are unleashing to the world, I'm honestly feeling like that you get notoriety for it. There's like a little star status going on here, in addition to emotional fulfillment from whatever it is that you have unleashed here. I'm also feeling like this devil, this stuckness, might have been more of hiding you, hiding who you are truly, not wanting your star to shine for whatever reason. This can happen to us for so many reasons. Sometimes life beats us down a little bit. Sometimes the people around us are not as supportive as you would like them to be, and they say negative things. And if they say negative things often enough and at the wrong time, like when you're young and impressionable, it kind of cuts you off from, you kind of believe it too much. It cuts you off from letting your star shine out. And the reason I'm getting that is because I noticed this star, and I'm sure this is a very different meaning for this star, but anyway, it's how I'm reading it. So that's really all that matters because I'm the reader here. Something was keeping your light hidden and dimmed and almost locked up, chained up, not using your talents and skills because someone had convinced you that you were not good at it, or there's no way you could do that for a living, or it's a silly idea, or whenever you do that, it makes you look stupid, or just whatever stories people tell you whenever you're doing something that gets stuck in our heads sometimes, even though it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And usually people, when they're telling you stuff like that, when you're trying to do something, when you're trying to create something, it's because they're jealous. It's because they can't do it themselves. For whatever reason, your beauty, your special skills, your talents that you have to offer the world have been locked up in kind of this mental prison of insecurity, really, of it not being a good enough. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't be good enough. There's no way you can do that. Well, guess what? You are proving them wrong. This season, this spring, you are unleashing the beauty that is within you and just letting it out there for the world to see it. And it not only fulfills you emotionally, it also is other people like it too. It's something that you have to do anyway because it's in your soul, but people are appreciating it. And they're attracted to your beauty. And your beauty is in knowing exactly who you are and not being afraid to let the world see who you are. Okay, where do I want to start here on the Oracle? This is a really cool message for you guys. I love that. And I feel like it did take me a little bit to get there. So I might have to trim some of that beginning to get to what's really going on here because it did take me a second. But that's okay. It happens like that sometimes. All right. I'm going to read these Oracle. We'll see how they add to this message. With the Sacred Traveler, you got grounding. Go deep and explore your roots. With the Angels and Ancestors, you got Druid. Hold the space. Notice the light shining. With the, this is Rebecca Campbell. What are these called? Work Your Light Tarot or Oracle. Amrama, what are you being called to journey to? And your animal, spirit of the animal oracle is frog, prosperity. This is a beautiful card. Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. I feel like that's almost the same message. The only thing here that I see that is additional advice, I would say, from Spirit is the grounding card. This kind of energy is very beautiful when you get here. When you're like, whew, I'm just letting it out there to the world. I feel my power and my passion, and I'm ready to unleash it to the world. Don't forget to stay grounded as you are going out and pursuing your dreams and showing the world who you are. Do what you need to do to ground yourself on a daily basis as well. There's so many ways to do that, and I talk about this a lot. Sometimes you can just carry a brown stone with you. That will help keep you grounded. My favorite way is to do yoga outside on the earth, not with a rubber mat. You don't want the rubber separating you from the earth. Grounding really is that simple. And you can watch videos about it and it'll explain all of the science of it, the ions and all that stuff. I don't know how it works, like the magnetic pull and the ions and the whatever. It is very important to do it. I do know that. To actually touch the earth with your feet or with your hands. Gardeners, very grounded people. There's so many things that you can do, so many ways to do it. It's just, you can walk around barefoot outside. You go take a walk at the beach, barefooted, whatever. There are other ways to do it, but you can also do like meditation grounding exercises. But that's just a message from Spirit too. As you are shining your light, which this is definitely, I noticed that light immediately. Your light is shining very brightly. You're not afraid to show people who you are You're being called to journey forward with your special skills and your special energy and your special talents, whatever it is that makes you special. You're being called forward to not be afraid to put it out there to the world, and it brings you a lot of prosperity and abundance, not just in the financial way, but I do think that's a part of it. Abundance and good fortune await you, and it awaits you because you're waking up to who you are and you're not afraid to show it to other people. Wow, what a great reading, you guys. All right, that's all I have for pile 1. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Take care. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 2 for your reading for the spring of 2023, these are going to be your messages, and pile 2 did have an amethyst on it. I will pull the tarot out first and see what messages we get there, and then I will go with the oracle and see what's happening with the oracle. But as always, tarot first. This is kind of a spring reading, and I was feeling kind of new beginnings, but I'm keeping it kind of open. It's like whatever the spirit wants to talk to us about, but we'll see what you got. Well, I've got some swords energy here. King of Swords. 2 of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. This is, quite frankly, this is very similar to pile 1. It may just be the energies of spring, but this is very similar to pile 1. Got some of the same cards here. All right, oh my gosh. 10 of Cups, the Chariot, and Strength. Again, several cards in this reading that were in pile 1. So if you were torn between pile 1 and pile 2, there might be a message there for you. Let me see what differentiates this from pile 1, though. So this is a very interesting reading, you guys. In all my years of doing this channel, and I think I've been doing it for 3 years, actually. March is 3 years for Sandy Toe Tarot. Happy anniversary, Sandy Toe Tarot. I have never had a reading quite like this before. This is a very clear message, and I feel like it's probably not going to be for that many of you out there, because it is so specific that I feel like it's probably just going to be for a few of you, but I have to deliver the message as it's laid out here on the table. I'm very strongly feeling parent energy here. And I feel like that you have been at a crossroads, and it has to do with your child. You know how kids kind of come upon situations throughout their childhood that almost is a crossroads for them. It's like they could go down this path or that path. And whichever path they choose kind of determines how successful they're going to be, at least for the next few years, or at least through their high school career, or maybe even how successful they're going to be in life. I feel like your children, or your child, or one of your children, has been going through something like that lately. Could also be about peer pressure. Like there's peer pressure for your child to go on a dark path, on a path that, you know, as an adult, having been around and seen the world, will not, in the long run, be good for him or her. So you as a parent have had to really negotiate it and navigate it through this situation, not only with your child, but also with your spouse, because I feel that there has been a push toward a stricter approach to this situation than you wanted. And I'm kind of, quite frankly, feeling mother energy. It's almost very traditional father disciplinarian versus mother tact and diplomacy situation here of how to handle this situation with the child. So I did talk about spring being a new beginning, and I was feeling the new beginning so completely that I didn't want to call this out as a spring. What is beginning for you this spring? But there is the wheel of fortune in here, which means, first of all, luck is shining upon you right now, but also the wheel is turning, and it's turning in your favor. So I do feel like this is definitely about a new beginning in this situation that's going on with the child. And I feel like the child chooses the right path, and they choose the right path because of, quite frankly, because of you, because of your level-headedness, because of your tact and diplomacy, because you kind of felt like in your heart that a strong disciplinarian approach would not be the right way to handle it this time. That doesn't mean that that's not always the way to handle, that it's always not the right way to handle it, but you felt very strongly it wasn't the right way to handle it this time, and you were right. And that clarity is coming in, and that child is making a decision to cut off the people who would lead them down the wrong path. And they're choosing the path of light. They're choosing the path of family. They're choosing the path of positivity as opposed to negativity. And when your child is in a situation like that, it's such a relief when you have a breakthrough. And so congratulations on that. That's what's coming for you guys this spring as a family. It's a new beginning, and it may have been hard won. Like it was touch and go there for a while, which way the child was going to go. Because that peer pressure can be very strong. Believe me, I know. I did a lot of things that were not positive out of peer pressure. Thank God I survived, and we survived. And I have no doubt that your child would have survived. Either way, they would come back to the light. That's always the hope. And quite frankly, it almost always happens. But it's almost like a crisis averted situation here. The light has come in, and for some reason, and actually it's because you've been able to massage this situation so that without taking any strong disciplinary negative action, the child is choosing the right path, choosing the path of lightness and happiness and health. And so that's a beautiful thing. All right, I just want to see what other kind of messages we have down here. From the angels and ancestors, drum, dream, and journey. From the sacred traveler, embracing enthusiasm, shout to the heavens with happiness. Transformation, butterfly, new dawn, new day here, for sure. Leap, you go first, the universe will catch you. And with the spirit of the animals, you got peacock, vibrancy. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life, and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. Couple things that I'm getting here. For one thing, I feel like that you had some ancestors watching over you in this situation. Very strongly picking up the ancestor energy and the drum and the tribal aspect of this situation that's been going on. And it might almost be that the drum beat is a break in an ancestral pattern. Like maybe your child was going to go down a path that maybe your parents went down, or your grandparents or great-grandparents or whatever back there in the ancestors was headed down a path from there that you had tried to break. And so you that's why it was so difficult to lead this child down the path, a different path, because it's just been a part of your lineage and a part of who you were as a people, as a tribe. So congratulations on that, first of all. With the leap, I'm getting, just almost the same almost the same message. It's like it's unknown territory for you, for your people, for your lineage, because you just kind of have always gone in this one direction, and your child was faced with the dilemma of going in that direction or taking a path with way much more light and joy and happiness around it. But it was unknown territory. So there was a leap of faith involved in it. And congratulations for you to see the path, the new path that would be a completely diverse path from what you're used to and what your family's used to. And then having the conviction, the strength of the conviction to say, this is the right path. We've got to take a leap off the ledge here. The universe will catch us, and the universe is absolutely catching you. And the butterflies, always transformation, beautiful transformation here. And just the hope and possibility that you see in that card, the hope and possibility for your family that you see in this card. You're taking some pretty dark and negative things and turning it into a beautiful legacy for your family. And this is the universe. It's hard when you got something this big going on and you're responsible for it, and you were the one that had the faith, and you were the one that saw the possibility, and you were the one, that had to keep it all together and keep everybody going in the right way. It's hard not to feel a little bit cocky. But the universe is saying, you are beautiful, you're vibrant, you helped your family out of a really, really negative situation just on your own intuition, on your own skills, on your own belief. Really, really, really strong faith and just brilliant ideas and brilliant timing. That is what brought you guys out of this situation. So the universe is very proud of you for what you have done, and how you are just shining, I guess, as a bright light in maybe this family of some darkness in the past. You were born to break this cycle. This was a part of your soul contract that you made before you came in here, that you were going to break this cycle. And it hasn't been easy. It has required strength, determination, tact, diplomacy. Sometimes you were exhausted. Sometimes you didn't know what to do. Sometimes you were just walking on faith. And sometimes you were having to fight some people that you were very close to. Not fight them, but just hold on to your ideas when they really wanted you to do something else. They really wanted you to make another decision and thought that they had the better idea to how to deal with it. And you had to stand your ground, and you did, and it is paying off in a big way now. Wow, that is very interesting. Like I said, I've never had a reading like that before. So congratulations, first of all, and I'm happy for you and your family that you're moving forward onto brighter days for sure. But that is all I have for pile 2. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Take care. Welcome back, my friends. If you chose pile 3, these are going to be your messages for the spring of 2023. The first 2 readings have been about new beginnings. I kind of wanted to call it new beginnings, but I kind of left it open too. So maybe this one will be about new beginnings for the spring, maybe not. We'll see what comes in. So pile 3 did have an Amazonite on it, rough cut Amazonite. So I'm going to take the tarot cards first and get those messages, and then I'll look at these oracle and see what that has to add to the story. You did get a lot of Light Seers Tarot, so I'm kind of anxious to see what that's about. With the Universal, wait, you got the Fool, you got the 3 of Pentacles, you got the 6 of Wands, and the 4 of Cups. With the Light Seers Tarot, what is all this? You got Temperance, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, 3 of Wands, Justice, and the 5 of Swords. These readings have been so interesting today. I swear, the messages that are coming out are they seem real specific. So maybe it's not for everybody, but I'm reading the cards as they came out. So here's what's going on for you guys this season. It's definitely a new beginning. It's time to move out on a new adventure. Even though you don't really want to. That's what's interesting about this reading. You got this 4 of Swords, or 4 of Cups here, which means that the divine is offering something to you that you're not interested in. In fact, you got 3 things coming in here to you, and you're not interested in it. And you know why? Because you're here. You are the Queen of Pentacles. You have everything you want. Your life is really, really good. So when this offer comes into you, you're like, why do I want to do that? Things are good. Why would I mess all this up? You must be joking. I'm living this life. Look at that. She is so at peace. She is an abundant queen. She has everything that she could possibly want. She's in a really, really good place. So when this new thing came in, you're like, I can't even imagine why I would do that. Why would I do that? Why would I do all the hard work and make all these plans for the new pentacles, make all these plans for the money down the line when I have plenty of money? But it kept knocking. This new thing kept knocking. And you were kind of exhausted. The 5 of Swords talks about, fighting, exhaustion from fighting. You were fighting it big time just because of this. Because you're like, I'm not interested in that. I don't need it. I have a great life. Okay. So then the balance comes in. You got 2 cards of balance. Temperance, trying to, alchemy, blend a couple of things to create something new. The Justice, kind of balancing the scales here. This can also be karmic justice. Karma. This is karma. This thing that was being offered to you, it is being offered to you right now because it's the right time, because it's based on your soul contract. It's your karma for this to happen to you right now, for this to come into you right now. Even though it feels like it's not the right time, it really, really is. So then all the rest of these cards are about you just finally making the decision. Okay, I do recognize there's some balance, there's some value in this thing that is being offered to me. I do recognize that maybe I am a little bit, I am maybe resting on my laurels a little bit. Like I am maybe a little too satisfied. Like there's no more spice left in the life because it's so good. I mean, how can it get any better than this? This is a great place to be, this place of abundance and happiness and gratefulness and feeling all of that all the time and having everything that you need all the time. It's a wonderful place to be, but that's not what we're here to do as human beings. We're here to grow. So unless you're taking on new challenges or doing new things or, following those nudges from the universe in the new directions that you need to go in, you're not fully living your life. So it could be, a little bit of a fear that if I do this, there's no guarantees with this. Requires a leap of faith. I've already got this. Why would I sacrifice this for this something that I don't even know how it's going to work out? Well, what you came to and what you had to come to eventually, even though it might have been hard for you to come to this, is that you're being nudged by the universe because this was part of your soul contract. It is time for you to do this thing, to accept this gift that is being offered to you, because it's a part of what you came here to do, not just for yourself, but also for other people. So this is all about the adventure. This is about the adventure. This is about this new thing. You're saying, okay, here I go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to run with it and we're going to move forward and I'm going to have this new adventure. It is an adventure for sure. I'm feeling a lot of, first of all, fun and excitement with the new thing. Maybe even some travel involved with the new thing. It takes you out of your comfort zone, but it's intended to take you out of your comfort zone. You don't know how it's going to turn out, but you have to. Someone told me this not too long ago. This is funny. This might be my reading. I don't know. I'm just kidding. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because that is not the life that you are intended to live. A life of just this, of just living in the lap of luxury and just having this fantastic, although albeit small, life where you're just surrounded by people that you love and the things that you love and you have everything that you need and life is just good and you're just there to, I don't know, just to be an example to other people, just to show that what a life well lived looks like in this particular place at this particular time. That's not the life that I was intended to have. And I don't think it's the life that you were intended to have. I think that you were intended to have more adventure, certainly more unknown things, big victories, because you're out there taking the risks and you're out there putting it out there into the world. Whatever this is, this idea is coming to you because you're the one that can do it. You're the one that can figure this thing out and bring this thing to the world. Quite frankly, you're the chosen one in this particular situation. You were intended to have a different life from the life that you're having right now, no matter how wonderful it is. That's just the truth. So here you go. This is your new beginning for the spring. You're accepting this fact, and then you are moving forward on this new path that Spirit has been nudging you about. Let's see what the Oracle can add to this message. You got the High Priest, intend and create. Begin now. Take the first step. Can't make this stuff up, you guys. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? Wow. And Spirit of the Animals, Bison, abundance. Sacred Buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Bison is very sacred to the Native American people. Abundance. Yeah, you don't have to worry about this not having your abundance anymore. Once you strike out on this adventure, you're always going to be abundant. It may look different. You may have to think about abundance in a different way from what you're thinking about it right now. But you don't have to worry. The universe is going to take care of you. So here it is again. Though you are living a wonderful life, this is not your deepest calling. It is not that which you signed on for when you came here. You are meant to do bigger things. You're meant to bring something to the world. I think it's, of course, that's different for all of you guys. Intend and create. I think you have some creative energy in you. You have some creative idea. You have something that you can uniquely create and bring to the world. And it has to do with you being out in the world, among the people, doing things, being active, not necessarily in a stagnant place, not in your castle, but out. I'm getting traveling again, out amongst the masses. And maybe part of what is happening here is you figured out how to have a balance. How can I feel like I'm abundant and have that safety and security around me and in this place of people that I love and care about, and just having this peace with my wonderful life and having this adventure at the same time, and being able to go out there and travel and see new things and bring my ideas to the world, and let the new things that I see inform who I am and how I feel about things, so that I can bring different ideas to the world. You are not meant to be in an isolated place. You are not meant to be in a bubble, even though this looks like a very beautiful bubble. And a lot of people live like this. They stay in one small community their whole lives. They have everything that they need. Their life is really good. They have good, they love the people around them. Their family is all around them. They have everything that they need. And they are intended to live that life. That is for them. And you've had a taste of it, is what the problem is. Like, maybe even after a lot of insecurity and instability, you've had a taste of like home and stability and abundance, and living in a beautiful place that you enjoy, and you just feel so wonderful when you're out in nature in the place that you enjoy, and everything is just really, really, really good. So you've had a little bit of a taste of that. But you're being nudged, you're being pushed out of the nest, quite frankly, is what's happening. You're not intended. You're just not intended to live this life. Your life is more, it's bigger. I hate to say it. This is not your deepest calling. Your deepest calling is out there. It's a journey, and it's on a journey. Very much travel involved in this situation, whatever this is, wherever y'all are going or whatever you're doing. There's a lot of travel involved in it. You were just intended for bigger things, and that is it. That's all there is to it. So this spring, you are beginning that journey to your deepest calling. All right, that's all I have for pile 3. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of light and love. Take care.